What is up, Star Wars fans? This is Darth Watson. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Acolyte series and the possibility of the Acolyte Season 2. And with the Acolyte Season 2, although it is a possibility, I wouldn't place your hope in the Acolyte Season 2, and I'm going to tell you why. Bob Iger has stated that he wants to cut back on all of the streaming service shows that aren't getting the revenue, that aren't getting the views, and he wants to get more Star Wars movies and less Star Wars shows out because of the budgeting with Lucasfilm and Disney. Due to their budget problems, it's looking like that Bob Iger wants more movies out and less streaming service shows, and wants to cut back on streaming service shows that aren't doing so well, but keep the streaming service shows that are doing so well, but cut back on the ones that aren't doing so well. And that's one reason why the Acolyte Season 2 will not happen. And another reason why the Acolyte Season 2 probably will not happen is and it's a follow-up to what I just said, but the Acolyte Season 2 probably won't happen is because it performed worse than Ahsoka Season 1, and the viewership is nearly half of what Ahsoka got within the premiere. And due to that, it looks like that the Acolyte series probably will not likely get a Season 2. Also, Leslie Headland has stated that she knows nothing about Season 2, although she did possibly tease, well, not possibly, but she did tease some possible Star Wars shows that revolve around the Acolyte, some Star Wars projects, probably not shows, but more likely Star Wars movies, or any Star Wars projects, stories that will revolve around the Acolyte. But as far as the Acolyte Season 2, she knows nothing of the Acolyte Season 2, and the only thing I can see possibly happening is stories like that revolves around the Acolyte series, but I don't see an Acolyte Season 2 happening. And we could get stories about young Sheev Palpatine and Darth Plagueis the Wise. We're probably going to get those later in the timeline. That takes place later in the timeline when Darth Plagueis was training Palpatine after he lost his first apprentice, which is Chimere. So Chimere would have to be defeated and killed at some point, and Darth Plagueis would have to find a new apprentice out there. So Darth Plagueis is the master of Palpatine, and Darth Plagueis did live longer than according to Star Wars legends, because the Force allowed Darth Plagueis, with Darth Plagueis being as strong as he is in the Force, he was probably alive for a few centuries at least. And according to Star Wars legends, he wasn't even alive barely a century, and would have been 15 years old during the time of the Acolyte. But with the Force-sensitive people with the Force can live longer than the average person's life, and they can live for hundreds of years, the same way the Force allowed Jedi Master Yoda to live for almost 900 years. So it's possible that Darth Tenebris actually lived, because it's unlikely to be Darth Tenebris, so it's possible Darth Tenebris actually lived a few hundred years before Star Wars Episode 1, and Darth Plagueis was a few centuries old at that time, so he could have been alive for a few centuries. And with Darth Plagueis getting his new apprentice, which is Sheev Palpatine, we could get future stories as a Star Wars movies or shows, which doesn't sound too likely, or even books about Plagueis and young Sheev Palpatine when Palpatine was being trained as a Sith, and the story of Palpatine, that how he became the Sith Lord, how he became powerful, and how Palpatine managed to kill his master Plagueis, even though Plagueis was very powerful in the Force. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this video. Do make sure to smash a like, subscribe, comment, and I will catch you all later in another video.